Hello there. How are you? Would you look at that? It's been another long time since the last video, since the last haircut live stream. Thanks so much again to everyone who donated. That was so kind. On that live stream, I asked, do you guys want to see me doing reaction videos? And so this is the first reaction video. And we're reacting to something that I actually care about, because usually I don't. And this is something very important to me. It's football. I'm just going to react to the news of this European Super League. I'm sure everyone's heard of it. I think it's even big news in America, where I don't know if everyone cares about soccer. So basically, the European Super League will be replacing the Champions League. The Champions League is the best thing in football at the moment. If you win the Champions League trophy, you're the best club in Europe. And if you're the best club in Europe, you're probably the best club in the world. So they're getting rid of this competition that's lasted over 100 years with so much history. That's why I love this. Because when this guy scored this goal, we got another star here and we won the treble. And that was that's one of Manchester United's greatest ever achievements. It's one of the greatest ever achievements in football, is winning the treble. You win your domestic trophy, you win your domestic league cup, and you win the European Cup, the Champions League. And these big clubs think they're bigger than all of that. They want to get rid of that and just do their own thing just for money. For those of you who don't care about football, I'm going to try and make this interesting for you, because I'm sure there's a lot of you, because not everyone cares about football. But to a lot of people, football is like such a huge thing. And I thought of a few examples to just show how big it is for so many people. Because I said to my friend, girl, and she didn't give she doesn't care about football. She was actually happy because I was saying, oh, the world of football it's collapsing. And she was like, oh yay, that's great. Football's awful. And I was like, well, is it awful? No, it isn't. And one example of why it isn't awful is I always think of that World War I Christmas Day truce between the Germans and the English, and how they literally hundreds of miles, I think it was whatever front, it was one of the fronts, and they stopped fighting on Christmas Day to celebrate Christmas, and they played football. Like, they had a match of football on Christmas Day. Literally, people who were killing each other they stopped on Christmas to play football. And it's just that's one big example of how it is such a great sport that can bring people together. It's like the biggest sport in the world. And when your team is playing, like when Ireland was playing in the Euros in 2016, we're all just so happy to just take part, especially Ireland, because we're just so bad at football. We're so bad at football. We're so bad at football in Ireland, like the national team. I love them, but they're awful. So when we got into the Euros in 2016, the European competition in 2016, the Irish fans were also, both Northern Ireland and the Republic, we were so happy to be there. And Paris gave the Irish fans an award. I have it here. Paris gave the Irish fans the award for exemplary sportsmanship. We were just so happy. We were all like, everyone was just joyous. It's just such a great sport that really does bring people together. During a match, yeah, you don't like the people you're playing, you want to win, but it does bring people together. And that's just one of the great things about football. So then when this European Super League was announced, I'm sure most of you have seen just absolutely awful reactions to it. And I have the same one. Unfortunately, the owners of Manchester United, the Glazer family, they seem to be spearheading this European Super League. They're such awful. They just care about money. They don't care about the football at all. Whereas, it's just such a big thing. Oh, actually, I'm going to get something. Here, this is my most prized possession. If there was a fire and I was in the house with my parents and my entire family, and this was also in the house, my family would have to save themselves, because I would run for this. This is signed by, as you can see that, to Ben. Best wishes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's currently the Manchester United manager. He is a club legend, and I love him. I love him so much. The thing about the European Super League it's just greed, and it's getting rid of all the history of everything that clubs have played for the last 100 years. This is also kind of dumbing it down in case you don't watch football. See this star? You see that star right there? The star. That's because what is now the Champions League used to be called the European Cup. And when you get that cup, that's like the best thing you can win in football. When you win that, you get a star. You get a lovely star. Just like when you win the World Cup, you get a star on your national thing, whatever. So it's just the best thing you can win. The European Super League is trying to get rid of this Champions League and just replace it with a closed boys club, if you will. So it's 15, it's going to be 15 teams, just the biggest teams in the world in this European Super League, and no one else is allowed in. No one else is allowed to play. And the point of it is it ruins what football is, and football is anyone can win anything, and there's history in every single competition. That's why I love this, because the manager who signed it, he scored a goal in the last minute to win the Champions League. I might make a whole another video on this jersey. I just love it so much. So if you know, you know. If you don't, it's fine, whatever. And it's also a big f*** you to every other club, because no one else is allowed in. It's basically saying, look, we know we're bigger and better and richer than the rest of you, so we're just not going to play with you guys anymore. We're going to have our own thing with the big boys. And the worst part is, it's so cheeky, because the few of the clubs that are in it, even United included, we're not great right now. We're not good. The thing about being in the European Super League is that it's so cheeky, because some of the clubs that are in it are absolutely shocking right now. They're just going into it based on merit, on history. It's so appalling, because it takes away that anyone can play anyone, and that's one of the great things about football. Like, for example, in the Premier League, Leicester won the league in a freak year. But it was amazing, because no one was even angry. Everyone was like, geez, I can't believe they won that. Fair play, that was amazing. And then they went to the Champions League, which is the biggest and the best thing you want to be in. Everyone wants to be in it. And what this is doing, it would be taking the big teams, and they've done this themselves. They've been so sneaky and disgusting in the way they've gone about making it. It would change football as we currently know it. And the great thing about football is that, like I say, it's like a pyramid, so that anyone at the bottom can work their way up to the top. If they can, they can. You can work your way up to the top, and you can be a big boy. But this European Super League is just taking the top and just moving it over here. And it's like, oh, we're just going to do this on our own. F*** you guys. And it's been spearheaded, apparently, it looks like, by the owners of Manchester United, the Glazers. The Glazer family. They're rich Americans, and they're absolutely awful. They've been awful for 15 years. Most football club owners will pump money into the football club because they want to see it win. These owners have only ever taken money out. They take out the dividends each year because they just know Manchester United is a big club. See, that's the thing. You use the word we or us when you're talking about your football club, because you're all connected. All the fans and the club are connected. That's one of the other things people hate about this European Super League. It's a big you to the fans. I'm really interested to see how it plays out, just for banter reasons, because there's some talks that to punish the big clubs for doing this, like kick them out of all competitions and like put them back into their domestic leagues in like the 5th tier or the 2nd tier. I just think that would be really interesting as well, just to see like the biggest clubs in football, put with not great teams at all, put with like the 2nd division of teams in their country. So the thing, it's 6 English teams, 3 Spanish teams, and 3 Italian teams as it stands right now. And they've all just been so disgustingly sneaky with how they've gone about it. These are the biggest clubs in the world. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Liverpool. I hate to say it, but Liverpool. And they all suffered so much in the pandemic, but we've all suffered in the pandemic. And then to do this just because they've lost a lot of money, and to do this because they want their money back. There are better ways to go about making more money. It's terrible. If you want a metaphor, it's like the big kids take the ball and don't let you play. They go to a different pitch and say, no one else can play with us. And they take the only ball with them. And all the little kids can't play. They can watch. For money, they can watch. Like, the fans are just going to be okay with this. Fans aren't okay with this. This is my prized possession. I love this. because of what it represents, because of the history of Manchester United and the history of that goal, the manager, and all of that would just be gone. It could never be recreated. But I am looking forward to seeing how these clubs will be punished if this European Super League falls through. How do you punish the biggest clubs in football without like ruining football? Because that's the thing, they are so big and they generate so much more money and so many more people watch them every day on TV. How do you punish them? Do you take them out? Do you just like take them out and say, oh, you didn't want to play? No, fuck you, you can't play. We don't want to play with you anymore. We got our own ball. Fuck you. I think that would be funny. Then suddenly the biggest clubs in the world have no one to play football with, or they're playing football at a much lower level. Like the biggest clubs in the world are playing football with people that have never been on TV, kind of thing. FIFA, UEFA, club football in general doesn't want any of this to happen. If you don't know football, basically FIFA is a very corrupt organization and they also only care about money. But usually they've had all the control. And now these teams are saying, you, we want more of the money because we're earning more, but we should get more of the pie. We bring more ingredients to make the pie. We want more of the pie. It's funny to see what FIFA are saying now and all the consequences they want to put on the teams. But basically, the teams want what FIFA have. They want more money. And FIFA are like, well, we don't want to give you any more money. These people, they are terrible and I hate them. And these guys are basically in charge of what's happened. It looks like they've just got other clubs in on it because the Glazers over here, they know how to make money. And you should see some of the things that people are saying on Twitter. In fact, we'll put some of them down. So here's just some screenshots that I've seen on Twitter and it's just awful. It's just awful the way they've gone about it. That's it. That's the video. That is my reaction to the European Super League. It shouldn't happen. Yeah, and it ruins football for everyone because then no one, it's just big boys being and saying F you to the little boys. And that's not what football is. Like I said at the start, it brings people together. This is literally tearing people apart. The next video will be a story. It'll be a nice story, a nice funny story. It wasn't funny for the people in the story. They didn't enjoy it. But I thought it's funny looking back. One of those. If you like the video, leave a like. Give it a share if you want. And if you don't like it, don't like it. See you in the next video.